Welcome to the 80th Annual Hunger Games.
That's
just
good.
like
That
setting
looks
it up
about-
with
that
this
looks
outfit.
about right.
Yeah. I'm Eugene Lee Yang,
I'm Chris Bang.
and it's Yang and Pang. It's
you
our
go.
new comedy variety show.
I love this because we haven't met. We're going to meet through talking
It's
to other
happening
people.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, tell me, Chris, what was it like growing up Asian Australian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that it's Asian Australian. Even you say it with a question mark at the
Yeah,
end. It's
yeah.
a weird thing. It's so. The most standard thing I get when I say that I'm Australian is that.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're Australian? You don't look Australian.
But
You
there's a
have
lot
black-
of Asian people in
So many
Australia.
Asian people.
Yeah.
And people, a lot of people don't realize that Australia is very mixed and it's a melting pot of culture. And I love that about the place, but it doesn't mean that I've had a different experience growing up. I feel
Yeah.
like as an ethnic minority, it's something that growing up experience sort of bonds us all around the world. And so when I was growing up, for a while I was the only Asian person at my school. And I immediately became friends with the only other ethnic guy. There's this Greek dude, Stefan. I remember he had
Stefan.
curly hair. It was like larger than your hair.
Oh, shit, that's big.
Yeah. As a kid, it was
sorry,
pretty.
I said shit.
It was pretty impressive as a kid.
Yeah.
And he got picked on a lot. And I was his friend, which meant I got picked on a lot.
Oh.
And so it was tough. And, I feel like Australia is a little bit behind on the diversity. They're catching up rapidly now, but that's why I left.
Yeah.
There wasn't the jobs there. There wasn't opportunity there. So I live in LA now. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a furnace because I am so hot right now. Sorry. Do you have makeup here or like a powder? I'm wearing like 20 layers. That was a fantastic answer, and I am dying. I need like powder or
but
something.
that was like a real.
Yeah. Can you come check real quick? Yeah.
That's not a joke. Are we back?
Yep, it's Pang and Yang.
Oh,
Welcome
didn't
back
see
to
you
Pang.
there.
Yeah, I just had to do a little costume change because Chris is so hot that I started melting. Literally looking at his face made me melt.
Look, let's talk about this for a second. Can you tell us a little bit about this fabulous?
Yes.
you're wearing?
This is by my stylist, Roman Sipe. You could check him out in the Menagerie.
He's right there.
Yeah, he's right there. So there's a lot of like men's lingerie under this, but I've been really like focused on.
Okay, let's see that.
Oh, you. I don't want to make you hot now.
There you go.
Yeah, this is getting very, very. This is going to be your best interview. I can already tell you that. So I've actually been really focused on trying to be more representative of the LGBTQ community, and fashion for me is like really genderqueer right now, and I'm just sort of playing around, and I always get bored looking at myself, so I'm just.
You're definitely not boring today.
Thank you.
This is great.
Thank you. Yeah.
So how was it for you growing up then? Was your family very traditional Korean?
Yeah, it was kind of similar, I think, what you're talking about with Australia. I grew up in Central Texas, where this outfit would really fly. But yeah, I was one of the only Asian families, and I talk about it a lot, but I had that classic sort of bullied, singled out story, and then all the queer stuff flew on top of that, so I had like the most confusing childhood, because there's this great stand-up comedian who said, I think I found out I was queer before I was Asian, right? Because I was like, I think I might not like girls, and then, I'm different from everyone else because I'm Korean.
As well.
As well, yeah. So it was a trying childhood, but I think it really did form all of the strength and the voice that I now bring to my work. And I think it's really important for people like us to be out there, faces shown, voices heard. And it sounds like you are really killing the game right now.
I'm doing it. I just showed up.
He just flew from the UK, from Berlin, because you were filming Charlie's Angels.
Yeah,
Can you
I
tell
can
us-
say that now.
Can you tell us anything
Film
about
Charlie's
it?
Angels. I can tell you that it's highly secretive and I can't tell you about it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but it was very, very interesting
Yeah.
experience. And it's going to be a fun film because, again, with that, there's a lot of diversity in there too. And I think that's such a beautiful thing that we've seen in 2018.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diversity happening. That's like the hot topic right now. The landscape's changing. So even in a film like Charlie's Angels, which is a fun film, right? It's a summer thing that you go there, switch your brain off, watch some, eat some popcorn. But of the cast, we've got Kristen Stewart, but then we've got Naomi Scott, who's
Yes.
half Indian, and then we've got Ella Balinska, who is black, and it's like, there's diversity there. And I'm in there as well. I'm not an angel, just so you know.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was
think
hoping
can
you'd say you were
that.
an angel.
I think I can say
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's happening everywhere. But I got a question for you, actually. Talking about growing up with your background and then struggling with representation in both, being Asian, as well as struggling with other identities and everything on top of that. How do you feel about, I was having this conversation the other day. There's a lot of characters coming up and they're celebrated and it's good and it's a win for diversity, but it's almost like there's check boxes. I mean, so it's like, hey, we want an Asian guy, because that's good. Then now we want an LGBT character in there as well. We want, let's roll it all into one. So we've got a lot of characters coming up. I was talking about, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we came up with a whole list of characters who are Asian but also gay.
Yeah.
Men and women. And it's like, is that giving the wrong image, or are we okay with that?
You mean like the idea of diversity casting for diversity's sake?
I mean, like...
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is really just the characters, right? It needs to come down to the right character in their story. And hopefully the writers, the directors, the producers are creating something that is specific. Like Crazy Rich Asians, for example, which of course you starred in, that was very specific to that story. And I think that when you have things where they just like kind of throw it out and they say anyone can play it, it's good in ways where everyone has an opportunity to be cast, but it's also negative on the side where there is a lack of specificity there. And I think that especially if you are of color or LGBT, bringing your own experience to that type of role only makes it more lived in. It makes it more authentic. And I think that's what people are really looking for these days. So, it is a step in the right direction, but it also, I think, is a missed opportunity, because hopefully someone is writing roles, like I'm sure we both are really focused on projects like this, where it only benefits that the character is Asian or gay, and that the performer and the producers understand that community enough to respect it. So it's not just there because they need to check off a box.
Right.
It's because they wrote it for that box, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Crazy Rich
Authentic
Asians
stories.
is a great example. Yeah. And if you don't mind me talking about it for a second, congratulations on that, because that was everything we all dreamed of. It's so good. I'm turning back to your camera to tell everyone that Crazy Rich Asians was so fucking good. It was so fucking good. And it did everything that you needed to.
Keeping it PG, right? We're keeping it PG.
It was so freaking good. It was so freaking good. And what was that like for you, especially since I know John, and I know that there's a lot of pressure there, thinking like so many studio heads and the industry is looking at it like, oh, if this doesn't work, then perhaps Asians aren't bankable.
Yeah, there was a lot of pressure. There was definitely a lot of pressure on that film.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, it kind of, in retrospect and in hindsight, of course, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Hearing about your story growing up, and for me as well, growing up in Australia, it's different. And we're always going to share that experience where you feel like an outsider, you don't feel fully accepted. Australia is where I'm from, but it doesn't feel like home. When I go to Asia, I'm like, oh, I look like everybody. I feel accepted. I don't feel like a step below, or I don't. And that's something special that I feel like, all Asians that have grown up outside of Asia have experienced in their childhood or growing up, that longing for representation. And so, of course, when you have a film that comes out that acknowledges that and fulfills that gap, people can embrace it.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, and that's honestly been the most rewarding thing to come out of the whole experience. Yeah, it's been crazy, and my life has changed, but getting these little messages come through, social media, people that I don't know, really heartfelt, beautiful messages just saying how much the film means to them, and that they took their grandparents or they took their parents, and it's something that they could share. And it's like literally we've got this group chat going with the CRA group, and we share them. It literally brings us to tears, all these comments.
Yeah.
And so it's an important thing that's happening, and I think the landscape's really changing, which is nice.
Yeah.
For film and television. What about for digital media? Is there
I think for digital, what's interesting is what Crazy Rich Asians was able to do is something that digital kind of has more of an opportunity to constantly do quicker. And it's something where the power of digital is that we are so forward-facing with the audience and we're so direct that, I can make a video tomorrow, release it, have the audience talk to me directly, and then respond in another video the next day. There's a conversation that's happening there that I feel like has only helped inform mainstream media because you see like tons of digital stars are Asian American.
We own that space.
We do own that space. There's a lot of Asians up in there. And I think that Hollywood has always now been like, okay, there's all these semantics and there's all these things where like buzzwords, oh, I'm gonna follow this because this is working well on streaming or on digital. But really what it is that authentic stories from diverse people who are telling it like it is, that's all over the digital landscape, and they're finally taking that and putting that into practice in mainstream media and in traditional, which is so important because movies can reach people in a totally different way. And so I think that they're just informing each other now, which is really, really fantastic. And that sort of feeling of having, especially young kids be able to see people like us on screen wearing shit like this. It's so important because that's the message you want to send, is that it's okay, we're doing great, we're thriving, and we have a lot of important things that we're creating. And it's okay to be you, it's okay to feel bad, but it's also good to see that, Asian Australian, Asian American, we can rise above it,
We all got a different story, isn't it? And I think that's what you're getting at is like, be you, inform everybody that we exist, not only as like one stereotype, but there's so many.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I think, education is the goal, right?
Exactly.
We're trying to inform people, trying to educate.
And I try to push other stereotypes a little bit more out there. Like drinking, I'm very good at drinking. I'm so good at drinking. Y'all.
Is that a stereotype?
So
already?
Here's the thing.
I feel like
I'm trying to
Koreans
educate
and
the
drinking
people.
is
Koreans drink
that's
so
a stereotype
hard.
already.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to embrace it where a lot of people, they think like Asians can't drink. And I'm like,
do you glow?
Nah,
Do you get the glow?
I don't get the glow at all.
I don't get the glow either.
I don't get hangovers either.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
kind of
it's
unfair.
dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Asians
not
either
even from soju?
Not even from soju. Asians either like cannot handle drink and they get the glow, or they're fucking crazy. Like everyone out there, that's my education. You got an Asian friend, you just give them a shot of whiskey and then see their reaction, and they're either gonna die or they will drink the rest of the
all
bottle.
night.
Yeah. And if it's a girl, if it's a girl and she's like slamming whiskey shots, 90% chance she's Korean. Yeah. I'm always like, that girl's Korean. She's like, let's get some Crown Royale up in here. And I'm like, that's a Korean girl, for sure.
Great.
That's what I mean by education for stereotypes.
There you go.
Because there's a little truth
secret,
in some things.
Little secret.
Yeah, little secret.
I don't think I can tell between most of the Asian
Are you
ethnicities.
fucking serious, Chris?
I can't do it. You can? You told me if I got 3 different...
Korean? Fuck me, no?
There you go. See,
that's
what
Korean,
I'm
right?
talking about.
Yeah. No?
Japanese. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
we
that's
can't
hard.
tell. That's a big secret.
Well, that's because your face is so beautifully beat right now.
But that's how you
I was
tell.
just
You
like,
get-
oh, she's like giving some K-pop.
Give her a drink if she doesn't collapse.
Well, I'm Korean American.
There you go. That's the Korean test.
Yeah. Are you
there
Chinese Australian?
So my background, my mom's from Taiwan, and my dad, this is getting so complicated. My dad is born in Australia, as I am, but both his parents are from southern China, from Canton.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's super annoying to explain to people.
No, it's cool. Yeah. So, but you're essentially just so you're full.
When people ask, I say I'm Australian because that's my nationality.
Yeah.
But then they're like, it's always that question of, no, I meant like, where are you really from?
They ask
Do
that
you
shit
mean
in
my
Australia
ethnicity?
too? They do that in shit in Australia too?
Not
Not as much. Yeah.
There's so many Asians in Australia. It's not a thing, but I think it confuses people over here because I'm like, I'm Australian. They're like, no, you're not. But I
really?
am.
What was like the most exciting part about being in entertainment in 2018?
In
The
entertainment.
most exciting thing about being partner, seeing Crazy Rich Asians. That was a huge one. That was a huge one for me.
You don't have to say that.
Yeah. No, I loved it. Except when the plane scene happened, because then I was just like, I'm not a big rom-com guy, And I thought you guys nailed like the rom-com tone. But once that plane thing happened, I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God, he's not gonna propose here. Oh my God.
Okay, you rewrite the ending. What's your version of it? What's the non-rom-com
Shit.
version?
I don't know. I was hoping for a rain proposal, like in the rain, like the other thing. But
Like
it was
a
good.
classic R&B hip hop
exactly.
music video.
And then
It's in slow-mo.
and just like a wet white shirt, and everyone's just makeup stripping, and everyone's crying.
You're gone
but it's
somewhere
the
else
rain.
now, I
Yeah. It's a sexier ending.
Yeah,
No, but
okay.
that was such a great, impactful moment, and a lot of people have been calling 2018 like the year for Asians. It was like what, August was the Asian August, because we had Crazy Rich Asians, we had Searching, we had Stephen Yoon's film. Asians were just popping
To All
up
the
everywhere.
Boys.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, so I think that 2018 is going to go down in the books for what I call the first of many projects. And I think that's what was most exciting about being Asian in entertainment this year. What about you?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. I'm like-
Ditto.
Honestly, actually, I've had so many what is going on with my life moments this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, a whole Crazy Rich Asians. I was about to say CRA. That's what the cool people call it. That's
I
our
like that, CRA.
Yeah, CRA. I had so many what the hell moments from CRA. Obviously, I mean, as an actor, you know, you got goals. You always got goals and checklist moments in life, right?
Yeah.
But as an actor, it's kind of like I want a film that opens at the Chinese theater. And so not only did we had it premiere there, I pulled up in a Lamborghini and the whole street was closed off. Like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I also produced a film this year.
Nice.
That was very exciting. So it's overall it's the same similar thing to what you're saying. It's just realizing the world is now opening up for us. You know, the doors are opening. Having been through you know, my whole life being like, oh, you're an Asian dude, so sorry, that's all you are. You're just an Asian dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not just an Asian dude. I can be the friend or supporting character, the lead. Like so many doors have opened up for me in my career.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to bring that to the world. That's how the change happens, right?
Yeah.
That's how we make a difference.
Give me a high five or something. Like I felt that
Yeah.
on my bones.
Yeah, let's do that.
Nice.
Sweet.
Well, thank
Thanks
you
for
so
chatting.
much for watching the 80th annual Hunger Games, the tribute from Oz and the tribute from Gay. Enjoyed speaking with you today. Tune in next time when more kids murder
Kill
each other
themselves.
for sport. Good night.